beneficial both to the Muslim faith and the Christian faith? And what do you think that says about what we share in common? Because I really don't understand that. It's a mystery to me.
Okay, so Jesus Christ, if secular historians will look at him and differ on his existence or not. The majority, to be fair, do believe he existed, right? Even secular historians, atheists and agnostics and whatever it may be, right?
It's the simplest explanation.
Yeah, it's a simple, of course, yeah. So I believe that, first of all, Jesus Christ existed, which in the modern age is worth noting, right? Muslims are the only other major world religion who believe in Jesus Christ as the Messiah, as the prophet.
Right,
he had the virgin
and
birth.
this is a strange thing, so we should definitely be trying to sort that out.
All right, so this is the first point of commonality. We believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in his miracles, that he cured the blind with God's permission, that he raised the dead with God's permission. We believe that he even, he created some things which in the Gospel of Thomas not mentioned in the Bible, like, but for example, the clay bird and so on, that he blew into it and it became an actual bird, that he cured the leper with God's permission. We believe that he was one of the mightiest human beings that have ever lived on the earth. And we believe that his mother was the best woman who ever lived on the earth. The Quran actually explicitly says that.
Well, that seems like a good starting point.
Right, and so that is the first thing we believe. When we look at the Quranic verses relating to Jesus Christ, we don't look at those metaphorically. No Orthodox Muslim, normatively, looks at those in an eschatological way. It's not eschatology for us, it's history. So we believe that this is actually historical. That's the first thing. And the reason why I mention that to you is because I listen to all of your biblical series. I think a lot of Muslims have, and you know that right here. A lot of people like it. And because obviously...
Yeah, strangely enough.
And it's not very strange if you know the Quran, because the Quran actually tells us to go to the people of the book and to listen to them and to, and you'll find in exegesis, like for example, Tafsir ibn Kathir, like one of the staple exegesis of the Quran, they use biblical verses all the time. Let's go to the people of the book. Let's see what information they have. At-Tabari mentions what you call Israeliyat, which is basically passages from the Bible, passages from the Torah, and so on like that, from the biblical tradition and from the Torah. So it's not abnormal for Muslim people to be interested in Christian explanations. That's been going on for 1,300 years. Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is that because symbolism is important, and you've mentioned, for example, Egyptian symbolism. You mentioned, for example, Orisis and I don't know, Isis and all this. Not that Isis. I know you already thinks I'm a hooligan. This man's already, but the Egyptian god Isis. I have to make that very clear, and so on. Yeah. So my question would be therefore, before we talk about symbolism, because a symbol can be you can have a symbol and an expression of something which exists at the same time. For example, you can have something which is not metaphoric, because you can't have a metaphor and non-metaphoric, but you can have a symbol and something which doesn't exist. For example, I say that you are a symbol for Western, I don't know, whatever it is, intellectualism, yeah? Possibly. I mean, this debate, is Jordan Peterson a symbol for Western intellectualism? Debate here. And he exists. Now, here's the point, you know that there are central doctrines to Christianity, like the crucifixion, the ascension, the resurrection, and all the above, right? These are doctrines. How do we look at these doctrines? Because the reason why I'm asking you, I think you are qualified, or at least you have some, because you did mention in your lectures that you were taking the approach of the Alexandrian school, which is like Origin of Alexander and his Jewish teacher Philo and these kinds of people, who take what you call the spiritualizing text. They spiritualize the text. They were known, the Alexandrian school was known for spiritualizing the text. And they were aberrational in that sense. And that's why one of the reasons why they were seen as heretics by all, I think all the churches. The Eastern,
I think just Origen, but the Origen said some things which are heretical, but he has massive influence on church fathers that are respected. But to your point, let's say the notion that facts have meaning, that is something that as Christians we should believe, right? God created the world with a meaningful structure, so the world lays itself out in a way that when we see it, we can see the meaning.
Exactly, and this is something which all types of Christians will agree with. Catholics will agree with it, Eastern Orthodox and Protestants. All of them will say you must believe in these doctrines as happening. You cannot believe in them as symbol. You cannot believe. So